So we're talking about charts and looking at market segments of super readers, occasional readers, and rare readers. We talked about how to walk through this and how to think about problem solving after you've presented a key insight. What can I do with this information to help me solve the broader issue on profitability or revenue or market entry? So thinking about how to lay out your page, we said that we want to do the different segments in the top, and think about this like an income statement where I have revenues and costs coming down the left-hand side, and then the different segments across the top, or years if it was a different case. So in this one, I would lay this out with super readers, occasional readers, and rare readers. Then down the left-hand side, I want to think about what are the different revenue sources here. What kind of revenue can I write down? Well, I can see that I have population. I know I'm going to have to multiply everything by this, but actually I have kind of a shortcut here where I could do each of these revenue contributions and then multiply. So I can do what's the revenue I get per person for the e-readers and then for the books. So I might think about this as e-reader revenue per person, e-book revenue per person, and then I can say revenue per person, multiply that by my population, and then get a total. So now that I've laid this out, I know I'm going to do my e-reader revenue per person, add it to this, multiply it by my revenue per person, and that will equal my and then this will be my subtotal, and then I will multiply by my population to get the total. So let's go ahead and fill in the numbers here. So we know that for the e-reader, the revenue per person is actually just the willingness to pay that we had in the chart here. So that's 200, 125, 175. Now my ebook, I have the number of books per year, and I just found out that there was $10 a person. So I can do 15 times 10. I can do 10 times 10, and I can do 5 times 10. Those are the different number of books per year. And I wrote that in kind of like a small way because that's not really a number I'm going to add up going down, but I just wrote that kind of on the side there. And it's quick math. You know, if this was more confusing math, like if it was 18 times 36 or something that's not something that I have memorized, I should probably do that on a separate piece of paper. On the right here, I would have a blank white piece of paper that I could just write some random notes down on, do that long math if I really needed to. But here it's pretty simple. 150, 100, 50. Now, a longer way to do this, if you didn't know that trick, is you would probably do 175 times 8, then do 50 times 8 and add those together. That's probably the wrong way to do it. Here I have something a little bit easier. Now I can just do 350, I can do 225, and here I have 225 again. Before I go any further, I already have some really good insights on this revenue per person, and this can be kind of a subtotal here. My revenue per person, based on this math, is that the occasional readers and the rare readers have the same amount per person, but very different populations. So before I even went further here, I could already say, well, I can already say that I'm not going to go after the rare readers, so I don't even have to do that math. I know the occasional readers are going to be better, so I'm not even going to go further with that. This is an important kind of trick for the case. Cases have 30 minutes max. So you really need to save some time here. And if it's not necessary to do the math here, if you can already make a decision here, make that decision. So here, I know my population is 8 million. For occasional readers, it's 20 million. And these are people here. So, you know, I would have to do this math in order to find the final answer. But, you know, I can kind of see that 8 is less than double 20 million, right? 20 million, half of 20 million is 10 million. So in order for these to be equal, I would have to multiply, this would have to be much less than half for them to be equal. I can already see that I'm going after occasional readers. I don't have to do any more math, right? I can say, well, if this was 10 million and this was 20 million, then if this was double this, then we would have the same amount, right? To give you an example, let's say this was $10 and this was $1 and this was $5 and this is $2, right? These would be the same then. But you see how this relationship is different? This is more than double this, and this is not more than double this. So here I can basically say, I don't need to do this math. I don't even have to do 35 times 8, which is it's not something I know how to do right away. You can probably do it, it'll take me a few seconds, some brain power, but I don't even have to do it. There's no point even doing the math. Here, I'll just do one set of math and have the answer here. I should go after occasional readers at a total of 4, 5, 450, add a 0, million, 4.5 billion. Done.